internets! Welcome to another episode of That's the F***ing Trailer,
starring Durden Godfrey and
Mr. Royal.
Hello, Durden.
Hello, Mr. Royal. A few things before we get into the show. We have a brand new website. You can check it out right now at www.ttft.live. It's got all of our episodes, all of our segments, all of our interviews, nicely organized in a format that we can control. You can watch our live episode there every other Thursday. I hope you're watching it there now.
Just go.
Yeah, just go there. Check it out.
Where's that again?
ttft.live.
Ow! All right, Durden. What the hell are we discussing today?
Today we are covering the 2002 film Robin Williams and Edward Norton and Danny DeVito's Death to Smoochy.
That is right, Danny DeVito's Death to Smoochy. A lot of people didn't know that.
Before we get into the episode, this episode is sponsored by our friends at Aimbot Energy. Roll that beautiful sponsor footage. If you want to feel like a superhero or a supervillain, check out Aimbot Energy. They are locally produced right here in Jacksonville, Florida, locally owned and operated. They produce a healthy alternative to energy drinks that doesn't give you the sluggish feeling when it wears off.
You mean the Crash?
The Crash. The 3 o'clock Crash. It is 100% natural. They use a perfect balance of nootropic to enhance your focus and multitasking, your memory and your critical thinking, your blood flow, because that is actually important.
Does it help serotonin?
It does help the serotonin, and I would use it specifically just for that if that was the only nootropic in Aimbot Energy. Aimbot has 0 sugars, 0 calories for those of you that care about that kind of stuff. It comes in 4 flavors: blue raspberry, fruit punch, green apple, and straw kiwi. This stuff is so powerful that they recommend if you are a new user of Aimbot, you only use half the bottle, because a full bottle will kick your ass. Right now with our discount code, you can get a 4-pack for under $10. You can get 40, which is regularly $100, for $85. So go right now to aimbotenergy.com/discount/TTFT. Support Aimbot Energy, local business, support our show, independent. We're all happy, and you are the best version of yourself. Aimbot Energy.
David, why roll your bot when you can aim your bot?
Alright, coming up in the episode, we have special guest James McDonald. He is a filmmaker and film reviewer at JamesMCD Productions and JamesMCD Reviews right here on the YouTubes. That's all the opening announcements that I have. Do you have anything that you'd like to add before we move on to the pitch?
I surely do.
Yes.
Let's get to the pitch.
Alright, Mr. Brandon P. Carlos, please take it away.
Okay, so Death to Smoochy, it starts off with a... Is this movie considered a musical? Because I feel like in a lot of ways it should be. If A Knight's Tale is considered a musical, then Death to Smoochy makes sense.
The ratio of music to dialogue definitely checks out. It's borderline musical at the least.
It starts out with Rainbow Randolph doing a song and dance number for a bunch of kids, and it being like, cool, so Robin Williams is in a kids movie again. F***ing perfect. It all makes sense until... he's in a bar, like this weird bar, he's just drinking his ass off, and like some fucking people come in and they're like, hey, you're gonna put my son in the show in the front. He's gonna sit on the casting couch, right? My son, here's all this money. Do you want your little booger eater on my show? And the wife is like, yes. Then don't tell me how to do my fucking business. And he stands up and he walks out with a bag of money. And apparently this is an FBI sting. There's a big controversy over Kidsnet, the network. So he gets canned. Then you see Jon Stewart for the first time in the film. And by the way, we can pull it up. It's gonna be right here. The first time you see Jon Stewart, this is the worst fucking camera angle I have ever seen in my motherfucking life.
No, they were appreciating the haircut.
Awful haircut. Anyway, moving off. They're like, so what do we have to do? We gotta replace this motherfucking guy. And the network executive heads are like, it's gotta be somebody squeaky fucking clean. They're like, so what are we gonna do? We can pick this dude? No, he's a heroin addict. What about this dude? No, he beats his wife. What about Sheldon Mopes? She meets Sheldon at a methadone clinic where he's playing like show tunes for heroin addicts, which he's the most excited person in the room.
It's that alfalfa juice.
It's the alfalfa.
Blast off.
Okay, so Nora Wells approaches Sheldon to do a show, and he's like, me? Are you f***ing sure? I mean, I had to work pretty hard to get this methadone clinic job. There are like 3 other dudes in the running for it, blah, 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 blah. They're gonna take Smoochy the Rhino and make him a TV show. So the show takes off. It's a pretty big hit from the get-go. Danny DeVito plays Burke, Smoochy's agent. Then Robin Williams' character comes like back in there somewhere, and he's trying to sabotage the show because he feels like he's got f***ed. And to be quite honest, he kind of did get f***ed. He tries to thwart Smoochy's whatever Magic Fun Time show a few different ways. In the best way, Randolph sneaks into the back of the props room, and there's like apparently there's like magic cookie time, and that's like a big f***ing deal on this show.
Whatever the f that means, you peasant.
He replaces whatever cookies are in there with like cookies that are shaped like dicks, and the f***ing bag of cookies comes down from the ceiling. It looks like Owen Hart, but like not dead, and there's just like coming out of it, and he pulls out a cookie. Edward pulls out a cookie. He's like, it's a... Oh shit, how is he gonna recover from this? There's a bunch of kids around. He's like, it's a rocket ship, and he just plays it off, and then Robin Williams comes out of nowhere. What are you, blind? It's a cock. It's not a rocket, you dumb f***. It's a cock. It's a cock and balls, a dick, chorizo and huevos. It's a big stiffy. It's a penis. Penis Maximus, a willy, a weenie, Mr. Jiggle Daddy, one-eyed wonder weasel. Don't you see that? It's Jimmy and the twins. Rumple foreskin. He made this. It's made from dildo.
It's made from dildo. That's the icing on top of the cock cookie.
Sheldon was in a bar. That's when in comes Spinner Dunn. Spinner Dunn is like this punch-drunk boxer played by Uncle Jackie.
I'm Spinner.
His cousin is a mob, like an Irish mob boss, Tommy Cotter. Basically, the Irish mob's like, yo, can you, Spinner loves the show that you do. Like, can you put him in a show? And he's like, Moving forward, Sheldon gets told about something about an ice show. So he's approached by Merv Green, who has a corrupt charity. We take a little off the top, you do the show, we make the money, and nobody dies. Edward Norton's character was like, nah, f*** you, better get some skates. Randolph comes back, and he's back with a vengeance this time. He somehow gets Sheldon into a car to go. I think Sheldon believes he's going to like a big event for children. I forget exactly what it is. Sheldon gets on stage and like f***ing blinding ass key lights, just way too strong. The room's way too dark. So he's like, yo, can we turn down this key light? I'm trying to like interact with my friends here. They turn down the key light and they turn on the house light. Hail Smoochy. He's at a f***ing Nazi rally. The Nazi flag drops behind him, and he's just like, what the f*** is this? So the network axes Smoochy because they think he's a f***ing Nazi. That's when Rudolph decides he's gonna go to Nora's place and try to plead his case to get his job back. Because that's really all this is about to him. He just wants his job back. He's not in the best mental state. We had fun, didn't we? I think I might love you. We had fun back in the day.
Oh, I'm still in love with you, Nora.
He says something. Randolph says something in that exchange with Nora that like leads her to believe that Sheldon wasn't lying about being set up. So Tommy takes it upon herself to go to Randolph? Yeah, Randolph's place. They finally get Randolph to admit to what he had done. All right, you spud sucking I'm suing your river dance ass. And Smoochy comes back. That's when Sheldon gets to Nora. And so Sheldon and Nora So they have sex. Green, who is the shady dude from the charity, and Burke, who is his agent, decide that they're gonna try to kill Sheldon because apparently Burke is in on the whole ice charity, like escapades, whatever you want to call it. During the rehearsals of the ice show, they hit people. They kill Spinner instead. Pop, 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 and kills him. Well, Tommy doesn't take this lightly. When she figures it out, she has Merv's men killed. Jimmy, tell him about the one where the worthless prick got his head chopped off with an axe. Randolph goes to Sheldon's penthouse apartment. They're having a conversation about blah, 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 blah. Randolph is like, we used to to Nora, and then Sheldon's like, but Nora! Hey, Randolph, you want to stay at my place while you figure out why you're depressed? And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll just stay here since I'm like basically homeless. It's the night of the big event. There are a lot of kids and a lot of junkies out there who are counting on me. Everything's gonna be happy-go-lucky, right? Well, no. They've hired a hitman. Randolph realizes that, oh, they're gonna try to kill him. If they haven't already killed him yet, they're gonna try again. So he like hauls ass to the fucking Ice Capade show. Buggy's up in the fucking like weird sniper's den booth thing, eating a pretzel, and he's really pissed off there's no salt on these pretzels. So he's sitting up there, he's like trying to like sniper fire thing, whatever. And that's when Randolph confronts him and gets in his face, and they're like in that weird like Mufasa in the beginning of The Lion King, where it's just like that situation. Let go of me, you fucking junkie! I never saw Venice. What? Once Sheldon that realizes that Burke and Marion set him up for like the getting capped. How do you fail at killing somebody twice? At this point, Sheldon's had it, dude. He's like takes a gun out and he's just like putting it at Burke's head. And he's like, yo, and that's when the Irish mom shows up. Don't spoil yourself by killing this dude. Like, we'll do it for you happily. Don't worry about it. He'll get his. And then that's kind of like basically the movie. I guess in closing, kids, if you're watching, I don't know, you shouldn't watch this if you're watching it. It's probably too fucking late now, but you can't change the world, but you can make a dent.
There it is.
There it is. All right, and that's the fucking pitch. Brandon, man, hey, salute, man. That was awesome, brother.
Yes.
This brings us to our segment that you guys love. It's called the Deep Dive. It's We Do Our Research. Norton, tell them about it.
We Do Our Research is everything you need to know about the production of the film, everything you need to know about the time that the film was produced. Maybe you don't need to know any of this stuff, but it's still interesting to hear anyways. So, Death to Smoochy was released on March 29th, 2002. Some other films that came out around that time were Van Wilder, our good friend Forrest Whitaker's Panic Room, Blade 2, Wesley Snipes had not fully checked out of the franchise yet, and Resident Evil. And here are some noteworthy events that happened in March of that year, 2002.
Ali won Outstanding Motion Picture at the 33rd NAACP Awards.
The Osbournes premiered on MTV March 5th.
The Shield, and no, I'm not talking about Cap's Shield. The Shield premiered on FX on March 12th.
Freddie Got Fingered won the 22nd Golden Raspberry Awards.
And Halle Berry, the first woman of color, became the first one to win the Best Actress Award at the 74th Academy Awards for that little film known as Monsters Ball when she showed her breast. Hopefully that had nothing
She
to do
showed so much more than her breast. I just want to feel good. Just make me feel good.
Jesus, yeah. I was trying to give him the PG version.
Times. No, the PG version. Go watch the version that came out in Europe.
Oh, you're talking about when he said, I always like me some nigga juice?
I didn't hear that
His
part.
dad said that part.
Okay.
Hey, okay, you brought it. I tried to keep it PG.
The budget and income for Death to Smoochy, with a budget of around $50 million, it made a little over $4 million during its opening weekend, with a total worldwide gross of just over $8 million to date.
Awesome, man.
Not so much. It runs at 1 hour and 49 minutes. It was filmed in New York and Ontario from January 17th to May 11th, 2001, just 5 months before everything happened on 9/11 with the World Trade Centers. The North Tower of the World Trade Center can actually be seen where in the scene where Rainbow Randolph dances around Lower Manhattan, and that was actually digitally removed for TV edits of the film. All right, that is that. Now you know all about the premise of the film, thanks to Brandon P. Carlos, and now you know all about the production of the film and the time that it was produced. With that being said, let's throw it over to the Lord of Connections.
And that is me, Lord Royale. Guys, how you doing today? Let's jump right in. Let's go ahead and start out with the obvious. During the film, we get a line from the great Robin Williams himself where he drops, listen, if you don't have a notebook, don't look in one.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you see me looking at your screen, which I've already done 10 times this episode. We get a line from him, "You bastard son of Barney." I like to call it the purple stuff. Clearly, guys, there was a connection between Barney versus Smoochy and also Animal on Animal Crime, Dinosaur versus Rhino. That's one connection. Another connection would be, let's talk about playing dress up. David, did you not know I was going to find a way to make superheroes come out of this movie?
I'm trying to think of how I would have even thought that, and no.
All right,
Edward Norton? Edward Norton?
That's not good enough.
Okay.
That's good enough for a regular show. This is our show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin you in. I'm not even going to take long. We have the great Danny DeVito, who once played who? The Penguin. And then we have, of course, Edward Norton, who played the Hulk. So we literally have Danny DeVito versus Ed Norton. But here's another connection. There's a point in the film where he says, hey, he tells the young lady, who I'll talk about, Nora Wells, he tells her, hey, listen, I didn't really start doing this until I had to go to college and take anger management classes. Well, who also had to do that? The Hulk. So he's been the Hulk the entire time because you wouldn't like him when he's angry, which apparently he is on set all the time. Don't know who said it.
I have a theory about his anger management.
Well, I bet you do.
Hear me out.
All right. So here we go. All right. So what I want to say about this one is the board. Because they see how I've improved now. When I write stuff down, I put in parentheses what I was thinking to make it connect. Here we go. All right, so here's some of the connections I want to talk about. The board. At the beginning of the film, you see a bunch of old white men, probably the same people who do the Oscars, because they clearly know what kids want, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's one problem. A lot of connections we can go there,
Well,
but
they know what they want because they're telling them what they want.
There you go. I like that. Now, they decide that Smoochy should get out. And that's where we meet a young, vivacious Catherine Keener, who plays Nora Wells, who, of course, was one of the leads in Jordan Peele's film, Get Out. There is, you see what I did there? And I love Catherine. Oh, my God. Hey. Whoops, never mind. Another connection. This may not be for all of you out there, but some of my southern region, Florida area fans may know this. The gentleman Spinner. They dressed him up. Not the second when he became Moochie, but before he was just, hey,
I'm Spinner.
Hey, my nuts is in his uniform. That's Spinner. They dressed him up as someone that David fondly remembers as Safari Sam.
Yeah.
I'm back, baby. All right. All right.
Yeah, that's gonna be very, very geographic.
Yeah, but when you put it up, they're gonna be like, I knew I saw that bastard somewhere.
Came to my school and read me a book one day.
Listen, what you call it? Someone says, how does it? Oh, here we go. I can put this down. Smoochy gets led to the Nazi rally, and it's gonna blow your mind. He gets led to the Nazi rally by Robin Williams' character when he's a guy playing a guy at this point. And then when he's there, you hear someone tell Edward Norton, "You racist scumbag!" Well, if you know that, that's not the first time they said that to Edward Norton. American History X, where he was a what? Racist scumbag. Jesus, you really wouldn't like him when he's angry. You better not make Edward Norton angry. All right, as we continue to move forward, he loves to see Robin Williams get dressed up. Smoochy versus Mrs. Doubtfire. The main villain in Death to Smoochy.
Parade of Hope.
Yes, Parade of Hope. The guy that's over the Parade of Hope actually is Robin Williams' brother in Mrs. Doubtfire. Another connection. He just loves to see him get dressed up, which means he's a cuckold. What? These are connections. And hey, guys, that's the Lord of Connections. Boom.
All right, excellent. Let's get into Hear Me Out.
You sure?
Yeah, I've got a theory that I've been dying to.
I got a feeling.
Can I go first?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Hear Me Out is our theories about the film. Some of these are purposefully outlandish, but on at my theory today, I think you can fact check me on this. So, after the death of his brother in American History X, Derek Vineyard went into witness protection and attempted to totally reinvent his life. He was given the new name Sheldon Mopes. If you pay close attention to Sheldon in Death to Smoochy, it is clear that he has a troubled past involving anger issues. He mentions being ordered into anger management in college. In Nora's office, he almost snaps back to his old ways, but stops himself to calm himself down. I'm at a halt here. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. That's something that you clearly get in anger management. When he howls with the kids in the one episode after he's outed and he needs to let his anger out, he loses control, and you see him for a minute where it comes out for a second.
Thank you, kids. I needed that.
Yeah. The Nazi rally. I think a part of him knew that he was heading to a Nazi rally deep down inside, but he played naive to the whole thing. And he even went and he doubled down and incorporated the Nazi symbology into the Smoochy on Ice show at the end. Yeah. And the kicker that verifies everything is, in the end, he is holding Burke at gunpoint, and in that moment of anger, you see the old him come out for a moment. It comes alive in his eyes. He says a version of a phrase that he has said before. In American History X, Derek said, "You fucked with the wrong bull." In Death to Smoochy, he says, "You fucked with the wrong rhino." And if that's not proof that Derek is actually Sheldon, then I don't know what is. That is my Hear Me Out.
I love everything you just said, because it chronologically. Actually, okay.
I tried to link it all the way back to Primal Fear just to prove that this guy can have multiple personalities.
Oh my gosh, man! Jesus Christ! Hey, that was awesome.
Apparently, he never got his anger management under control because they had to switch him in witness protection to Bruce Banner.
Yeah, he got too mad.
Yeah,
he got too mad. Big mad. Great job. All right, Durden. What do we got next?
Let's get.
No, you don't even want to hear me out. I got you.
Oh, you didn't get me.
I know. No, I didn't. No, I was here the whole time.
Okay.
No, but you're looking in my book.
I can't read it with my glasses from that far away. I promise.
All right. While my hear me out is not as compelling as his, I stayed in the universe actually of the film, and I didn't go outside of it. But with that being said, my theory was that Rainbow Randolph was not dumb. He knew everything about the children's industry and where it was, where it is, and where it was going. And he saw the writing on the wall. So in his mind, the opening scene when he's meeting with the FBI agents, he doesn't know. He thinks he's meeting with parents. What is the little booger wants to be up front? All this other stuff. He takes the money. It's because he knows the glory days are pretty much gone at this point. Mm-hmm. He could have probably went on for 1 or 2 more years, but the plush animals were coming, and that was not him. He was more of a Mr. Rogers or something like Captain Kangaroo, things of that nature. But he saw that coming, so that's why he started skimming money off the end so much to try to justify the means.
If you would have only had foresight beyond that foresight to see that the Wiggles were going to follow up after Barney and all of them, and he just had to hold on for a little bit.
Just a little bit. All right, guys, that was Hear Me Out. Dave, take us to the next.
All right, casting call. We get to play casting directors, recast the film, or at least the main characters in the film. And so I have Rainbow Randolph and Sheldon Mopes.
Okay, you go ahead first. You go first.
All right, you want to do Rainbow Randolph first?
Nope.
All right, Sheldon Mopes. Sheldon Mopes, as great as Edward Norton did, I think Will Ferrell could have done an amazing job. He's got that childlike innocence about him, while at the same time he can get really angry and lose his shit. So I think it would have been interesting to see him play Smoochy the Rhino.
Vince Vaughn.
I almost put Vince Vaughn for Rainbow Randolph because I thought that, but I'm trying to, no, let me see him as Sheldon Mopes. It would have been funny for sure. It was between him and Owen Wilson, but I just couldn't see Owen going that dark. I know he can. Now don't get me wrong, I know that he can, but I can still see Vince playing it both ways. It doesn't take much for him to go either way. Yeah.
So that's why I said that. And you, sir?
Rainbow Randolph, Tom Hanks. Because I would have loved to see Tom Hanks go crazy like that, like Robin Williams had to, and it would have been even more it would have threw people off more to see him as this innocent children's host in the beginning of it, and then it takes that dark turn. You find out that he's sleazy. That would have really threw audiences for a loop by then, and it just would have been fun to watch him say, "I'm Rainbow Randolph."
That's awesome. Now, maybe this is a little bit of revisionist history, but for me, it would have been Steve Martin. I kept thinking about Planes, Trains, and Automobile, and that line just cursed me. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, I can just see him doing that. Yeah. So
that's a good choice.
Thank you. Those are the only 2 we're doing.
Yep.
Okay,
and I got some real life ones.
Okay. All right. Well, before we do that, guys, don't forget to comment. Let us know who you have chose. Dave, tell us about some other ones you had.
Well, these are ones I had. These are ones that actually almost happened in real life. Some casting calls that were almost made for the film. Jim Carrey was attached to the project but dropped out to do The Majestic.
Thinks he regrets it.
Probably not.
Okay. All right.
Hank Azaria was originally cast as Marion Frank Stokes, which eventually went to Jon Stewart. Azaria dropped out to shoot America's Sweethearts. Danny DeVito originally approached Edward Norton to play the part of Rainbow Randolph, but it was Edward Norton that suggested that he play Sheldon Mopes instead.
I'm glad they did that the way they did that because, Yeah.
So those are, that's the casting call.
All right, guys, it's time for your favorite Keanu Reeves moments of every show. Pop Quiz Hot Shot. We discussed 10 facts about Deaf to Smoochy. Dave, take us away with number 10.
Number 10, Robin Razzie. Robin Williams was actually criminally nominated for a Razzie Award for Worst Supporting Actor for his performance as Randolph. Thankfully, Hayden Christensen came along with Star Wars Episode 2 and went home with the honors instead.
9. Still in character, Sheldon's apartment in Death to Smoochy boasts a large photo of a rhino on the wall. Edward Norton kept the picture and still has it. Speaking of staying in character, Danny DeVito still refers to Norton as Sheldon or simply Mopes when they talk.
Number 8, final credit. Death to Smoochy was actor Richard Hamilton's last film.
Won't you rest in popcorn, sir? Death to Spinner number 7. After Spinner is murdered and dropped on the middle of the street, in the puddle beside his body, a Chinese character can be seen, which means death.
There's some attention to detail. Number 6, pink is the new orange. The original color of Smoochy's costume was actually going to be orange.
Oh man. Okay, I can see that. Number 5, Film 4 No More. Film 4, a British production company, financed Death to Smoochy. The film's box office alleged failure was one of the key factors in the demise of the company.
Oh, there's no alleged failure. You can't argue that. I've got some reasons why I think it was destined for failure. We'll get into.
Listen, I can't argue math, but Father Crime Time can.
Father Crime Time is beyond the rules. Number 4, Elvis on Ice. The ice skating stunts at the end of the movie were choreographed and performed by Canadian skater Elvis Stochko.
Number 3, personal recipe. The spirulina and almond butter concoction that Sheldon puts on his soy dog was something that Edward Norton came up with on his own. He really is a health nut. He doesn't even smoke, man. Cigarettes, anything.
Yeah. And I'll admit, that concoction that he put on that hot dog, as nasty as I know it was supposed to look, something about it just seems like
everything about it was nasty. Nothing about it.
Looked like it might have a taste to it.
Yeah, nasty taste.
Number 2, read closely. When Nora confronts Sheldon about doing the ice show, look very closely at the newspaper she throws at him once he holds it up. The prop department had a little fun. On the right side of the paper, you can clearly read, the stories that people come up with are so very entertaining. Create different articles every day? I'm sure it's much easier when you have a topic to write about, which I currently do not. The serial killer pictured above is in fact not really a serial killer. He or she is probably a friend of someone who let us use their photo.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, it goes on to say, like, another important topic we could talk about is the weather. And
oh man,
we're not going to talk about the weather.
I'm gonna go back and freeze frame and look for that one. And number 1, all of the lights. In the end credit sequence where Smoochy, Randolph, and Nora dance and fly through the air, there are 240,000 Christmas lights used to enclose the ice rink that the scene was shot on. And guys, that is Pop Quiz Hot Shot. Why don't you tell that Wildcat behind the wheel to get it together?
All right, let's get into 7 Minutes in Heaven. These are our favorite scenes in the movie.
Shall I start?
I kept it to a tight 3. What do you got?
I'll be starting. We're 20 episodes and I can never do. We gotta start choosing worse movies, and then I won't have more than 3 scenes. You gotta stop doing me like this. All right. All right, here we go. I'm saving this one for last. That's gonna be my number 1. All right, okay. Our favorite scenes. Here we go. All right, there we go. Oh, love it. At the beginning, or not even at the beginning of the film, I would say it's the beginning of the demise of Rainbow Randolph. They're in the car, him and his agent are in the car, and he was like, man, they're discussing how money's low, this, that, and the other. And for a brief moment, and I do mean a 0.01, 0.2% moment, you see his agent feel for him ever so slightly, and I call it the pump fake. He goes into his thing, and he's like, nah, and he reaches down for some gift bag from some shoe. I'm like, if you don't, that's why people are like, why do you get up? Don't get up and go to the movie. You're crazy. You watch every scene because you miss like that. Did you see it?
Rainforest benefit gift package. Don't ever contact me again.
Right, but you see him pump fake real quick. Like, he come in, so that was one of my favorites. Go ahead.
My number 3 is the opening scene that introduces the Rainbow Randolph show. I mainly like the scene because I like to imagine an alternate universe where Robin Williams actually starred in a children's show like this, and we got to see him in a character like this on a daily basis.
Right.
But really, it's in my top 3 because I remember the first time I saw the movie, I just was blown away by the music. The song is great. Robin Williams, all the little nuances in Robin Williams' dance choreography and the cuts where they decide to cut to him doing different motions. And what the does One might say grass while the other says snatch mean in a children's song.
You know what it means. That's still a dude from, that's not him. He's still trying to, he's in, man, he's a guy playing a guy playing a guy.
So is that like a play on like
Vagina, grass, and snatch.
So it's they're satirizing the fact that children's television always find a way to put subliminal sexual shit.
Yes, they do.
That's what I thought. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, you were.
One might say grass.
All right, and I'm gonna double up here so we can catch up with everything. I will say this: the first one, the one of the 7 minutes of heaven for me, one of my favorite scenes was the ending montage scene. Like, you know me, I'm a sucker for when films go off key and do so. And they really go off key, but like when I let's say a dance performance will work out of nowhere. I didn't expect that. So at the end of the ending skate scheme reminded me of 2 movies combined. It mashed up Blaze of Glory meets Beetlejuice. They start floating in the air like them, and then the Blaze of Glory, and then they just take off. I'm like, man,
yeah,
that was ahead of time. So that
was very Beetlejuicy.
It very was before she started stealing out the store.
All right, my number 2 is when Randolph tricks Sheldon into going to the Nazi rally, particularly the whole scene in the car where he's pretty much playing Mrs. Doubtfire's brother, and the moment, like the moment where he goes, probably gay too, and then but don't you take a particular glee in stealing his time slot? Like he is so, like, he wants to be in that character so bad, but he cannot get over his anger towards Sheldon Mopes and Smoochy for even a moment to commit to this character that he's put so much thought into.
No, I agree, because remember, that was the one time Sheldon actually paid him a compliment. He was like, I actually think he's pretty good. Hey, we know you don't. No, and in
that moment, that's when you realize that
Sheldon
Randolph is essentially his own worst enemy. Like, he truly hates himself.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
And he it cracks me up that he's always throwing these little jokes out there about the fact that he's probably gay.
But my thing is this: I'm not saying I know this for a fact, but I kind of think that you brought up Will Ferrell earlier. I think that Will Ferrell actually kind of maybe not 100%, but took a little bit of that character, because remember, I kept thinking about him riding around in that skating around in that thing and just drinking. He was like, smells like throw up in here. You know what I'm saying? The ice show.
Yeah.
Ice show's been going on for years, guys. All right, so
I mean, he probably is. Rainbow Randolph probably is closeted now that I think about it, because I mean, just look at the character that he chose to play. I mean, Rainbow Randolph.
And the only woman we ever knew him to be with was her, and she loved children figure people. And with that being children figure people, I don't even know what the that means. With that being said, this is my number 2, and then I'll go to number 1. I think you have one coming up. Number 2 is going to be when rain. And you know what I'm going to say here. When rain. This is why you guys have to pay attention to film, listen, and don't let anyone distract you. When he's being released from that police station, I argue this is probably one of the best top 100 scenes ever in life. And the reason why I say that, he's being released, and Robin Williams is at his all-time best. He's uttering so much stuff. But if you listen, one of the reporters says, "What about Hu Wong Fu?" He like, "Who? I don't even know that bitch. She's been down on everything except the Titanic." I was like, yes. And yes.
He said,
touch my ass.
He said that same Titanic line in Good Morning Vietnam.
Oh, Hannah, you slut. You've been on everything but the Titanic. Stop it right now.
I did not know that. Now, that's connection. This is the atheist of connections. I'll be the Lord. He'll be the atheist connect. But no, very good. I did not know that.
Yeah, and I didn't know that either until I did the research.
She's been down on everything except the Titanic.
Somebody touched my ass. I've been shot. Salmonella.
Oh no, he says that's. Oh no, I'll wait. I'll be back since we're coming to a bigger boat later. Go ahead.
My number 1 is give him a cookie. Give him a cookie. The way he's looking so maniacally in that mirror, and he's just always so angry. Like the way he displays his anger and animosity is so funny to watch. Like, he's so vulgar all the time, which was, when I first saw this movie, I had not yet seen Robin Williams on stage. I had only seen Robin Williams in movies, and Robin Williams in movies is usually Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, Night in the Museum, stuff like that.
Yeah, to see him like this, where he's just, he's vulgar for no reason sometimes. Like, it cuts to him when he, after after Smoochy does the song, it cuts to Robin Williams like, whatever that means, you f***ing peasant. And then
did I say that?
And then, of course, at the end of that scene, it has one of the best punchlines is, "Let go of me. I'm Rainbow Randolph.
Oh,
I
that's
know the
the
way out." He is physically, mentally, emotionally beaten down to nothing throughout this movie, mostly by his own doing.
I think the best way to put that is you see Robin Williams the entertainer in film. You see Robin Williams on stage.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put that. And the reason why I was holding this up is guess what? It's a rocket ship.
I just wonder how they shot that with all the kids.
Oh, you know they switched it up. He probably had something different in his hand, or they probably told the
But
kids.
then you have Robin Williams come out and name like every innuendo for a penis, and they're
well, we hear him.
yeah.
We hear he could be like it's a, and then ADR later, yeah, because I can see the lawsuit coming.
Yeah.
Mom, what's a cock?
Yeah.
Our side note here, different movie. Our mom says our dad's a real sex machine. For the first user to type in what that is, you get a free TTFT swag bag, which does not exist, but hey, neither did the Barney bag, kids. All right, my number one, The Hidden Blow.
The Hidden Below.
Yep.
Elaborate. A request.
For some reason, I heard you saying that last night as I was writing this stuff down in my mind. Danny DeVito character is on Blow in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're saying yes?
I could agree.
Why would you agree?
Just because of the world that he's in.
Now he does it on screen.
No.
Yes.
When?
I knew it. See? And I said, nope, it was just a sign to cue the sun. Nope, I knew you were going to say it. Don't worry. I got you. See, because of things that have happened in the past, I now need physical proof of things that are going to happen to me. And so, here we go. David, as I was watching the film last night and I was just mildly entertained, I was like, you know what? I didn't see that. I went back and watched this scene 30 freaking times last night. And what do you see here? Here's the first one. What is Danny doing? What's Danny doing? What's Danny doing right there?
Oh, that definitely looks.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. And I even went back like maybe I missed something. I didn't miss anything. He tried to make it look. Yeah. And I know what you're thinking. No, he was looking at his watch to see why the guy hadn't shot him yet. No, that happens because later he cues him, and then this happens. In case you thought I was wrong. So that is my favorite scene that no one in the world has ever caught. He does this, but then he doesn't even check one. He tries to do it again, make sure nobody's looking. DeVito on Blow.
You need to be a police officer.
No, I don't. Me. Silly man.
Alright guys, what were your favorite scenes in Death to Smoochie? Put them in the comments. This movie has received so little recognition for how great of a movie that it is, so show some love for it in the comments and tell us what scenes made you laugh. And you're going to need a bigger boat.
Alright guys, you know what that means? This is where we get our jaws on things that really made our jaws drop. See what I did there? Connection still here. Alright guys, so you need a bigger boat to really check about the lines, the most powerful. Are you not entertained? King Kong ain't got on me. They used to call me Crazy Joe, now they call me Batman. And I could keep going on and on and on, just like Ron Jeremy. But with that being said, guys, we're coming to Bigger Boat. Now, here's the craziest in the world. It starts at the beginning of the movie. We're still talking about Rainbow Randolph. After he gets caught by the FBI for trying to take the money from the kid, this motherfucker says, I never touched the money.
Drop the briefcase.
I never touched the money.
It doesn't matter if you touch the money. I'm Rainbow Randolph. Kids love me.
I'm Rainbow Randolph. Kids love me.
Like, Jesus Christ, you don't have to touch it. You took it.
Yeah, he's so sleazy in such a hilarious way.
Go ahead, man.
My number 5 is when Sheldon says, I'll be in my office, the one with the view. Nora responds,
They all have views, you dumb shit.
Not looking this way, Cupcake.
That was him breaking down. He had to get out of there because remember he was like, you little... He almost lost it. Another one of my favorite lines from the film was, funny that I say that here, favorite lines. Let me guess. You came here on the H train, right? Riding that horse on the juice. So like, damn.
it's nice of you to assume.
But you know what I thought about when he said that? Because guess what? I'm finna with you. Here comes Lord of Connections again. I'm not doing this to you again. I know we're doing a bigger boat. One of our favorite movies ever, Fight Club. He always goes to AA.
Oh, yeah. I thought there was something about him being in
there was
any kind of group setting like that.
And we were only missing Marla. That's the only person we were missing at that point.
Oh, she was there somewhere. My number 4 is the police. When the police ask Randolph in the ice show, when they after he throws Buggy off the ledge and they come running up to Randolph, they're like, "Are you okay?" He responds,
I don't know. I'm kind of up in general, so it's hard to gauge.
I love that even after, like, even on the positive side of his redemption arc, he's still up. Like, the foundation of him is still up.
To me, you don't even have to tell me that wasn't even in the script. I think he just improvised that line.
I could see that.
I could see that. All right. Now you can take this how you want. It just goes to show you the satire that people just sometimes just write and don't think what they're writing. I'm not saying all writers don't have I'm just gonna say it. Smoochie says, "Don't you remember when we were little boys and played cowboys and Indians? I was always a little Chinese worker." Like, oh my gosh, bro, what the Yeah, we're just gonna go and move on from that one.
My number 3, the reporter asked Randolph, "How does it feel to be the most hated man in the country?" This motherfucker responds,
In a country full of Neanderthals, I wear the badge of honor.
Yeah, where is that at? I had that. Yes. Damn it, man. Jesus, I had that, brother.
That is even more truer now than it
It's
was in
ever
2002.
been, man. There it is. I told you I had it. You get to look in the book for that. That was one of my favorite. And with that being said, one of the henchmen says later in the film,
All you said was sit the rhino. You never specified a color.
see, I just missed old racism. Didn't I tell you that?
Yeah. My number 2, you better grow eyes in the back of your fucking head, you horn piece of shit, because I'm not going to sleep until worms are crawling up your foam rubber ass.
I'm going on safari, motherfucker. Safari.
That was so just... It was so absurd. It was such an absurd... Going on safari, motherfucker. Safari. Why does he say it twice? What going on... The whole line is just... Yeah.
It's Rob. That's just Rob, baby. It's Rob Williams. Mine would... How could you do it with Wally the Whale?
There she blows.
Yeah, that was quick.
Quick here, the zingers, man. Zingers.
Number 1 is Rainbow Randolph again in that same scene after he like breaks down. She's right, you know. Don't make the same mistake I did.
Keep your dignity intact.
My balls.
Like, Robin Williams in this movie is so good at playing the character that is beaten down, pathetic, just all over the place emotionally, and in that one line, you get at least 3 versions of his personality or his range of emotions from that whole scene is just great when after he decides that he's now going to be allies with Smoochie. He goes from being all in, this guy's my enemy, I will kill him, to immediately being all in, this guy's my best friend. Like, after he says that line, he looks at Norton, he's like, "You got a good man there, Nora."
Good man there, Nora.
And he meant it. He's all the way with you. And I know this is not where we're at right now, but for some reason I tried to connect it so many times, but I couldn't. I knew I was reaching, but something about seeing him come in there and jump on his sidekick made me think about Joker. But it was the reverse, because they came to see Joker, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh my God, this made me feel that way. Well, you know I never do the numbers for the bigger boats, but my last one is when they were speaking about the assassin, and like you said, they just became friends, Smoochie and Rainbow Randolph just became friends, and Nora was like, wait a minute, he used to be high? He was like, yeah, he was higher than a prom skirt in June.
I tell you, he was jacked up higher than a prom dress in June.
And that's bigger boat, guys.
Speaking of Robin Williams, let's get into scene stealers.
Guys, all right, now we're talking about scene stealers. Guys, this is where we're talking about the best artists of the film. As you guys know, you don't have to be a lead. You don't have to be a supporting lead. You could be anywhere from an extra all the way to the lead of the film. And this film right here, I don't think it's going to be a surprise. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but I'll start if you don't mind. I don't even have to turn to the page.
Oh, I don't mind if you start, but before you start, throw the board down there. All right, first episode, we have Vanilla Sky. That was Cameron Diaz.
Hey, Cameron.
Second episode was Tropic Thunder. That was Robert Downey Jr.
Lincoln, holla at your boy.
Then Django Unchained was Christoph Waltz.
Legend.
Coming to America was, of course, Eddie Murphy.
Co-worker of mine.
Lean on Me was Morgan Freeman.
God.
And Doctor Strange was Tilda Swinton.
Another type of God.
And now we are in Death to Smoochie.
I feel, you know what, this is really one of those times, guys. We have a lot of fun on this show, but this is really like, me and him had a conversation last night after watching it, or maybe it was this morning. Yeah, it was this morning. And like with Death to Smoochie, this is the just hearing that name, and it's not the last film that this person did, but it's just hearing that name of the film and then watching it. The world truly robbed us of Robin Williams, and he is truly, like, if I had a Mount Rushmore of entertainers, Robin Williams would have to go there because he fits the bill in every way, man. And it's not even in films later on in his life, some of the last few films he did, like Night at the Museum, when he comes alive. Robin, we're talking about you. You don't have, no, I got it. When he comes alive, not just in cell phones, when Robin comes alive in that film, in any film, he's never not been you almost have to dumb him down because he is just so much. But we're only talking about this film, and I can't even really truly tell you about his performance because all I kept saying to myself throughout watching this film is that we'll never get it again.
Yeah, that kind of energy.
Yeah, it hurts, man, because see, here's the thing. I saw Robin Williams before I saw Robin Williams. He was a reverse for me, as you said. You saw him on film first. Ironic, I don't even remember how. I just remember seeing him, and then I started researching him more and more. Like, who is this guy that's always making me laugh? And remember, even before I saw him, we heard him. He was Aladdin. I mean, he was the genie in Aladdin. So we heard him. We knew the voice. He was rambling. He was the reason why I paid attention to him first was because his naturally or unnaturally, his voice reminded me of Tim Curry. And how fast he talked from Clue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just that, they're moving so fast. And so I don't even have enough words to tell you that this man is, again, will always be one of my favorite artists of all time. We lost him too soon, and it's only one phrase I can think of when I think of Robin Williams, and it's the play of the book, if I'm not mistaken, Tears of a Clown. Because he died so-called from depression. And I can tell you this is that I'm not depressed, but I can say as far as having depressing thoughts, me being an entertainer myself and having to make everybody, not having to, but making people laugh, feel good, feel this, feel that. It's nights when I'm sitting here, but at night I like to sit home by myself and just recollect my thoughts and just not be myself, but just take the weight off of. And it's not, I don't even want anyone's sympathy saying, hey, you need anything? I'm just like, man, world's up. At least I can, while I'm here, at least I can just make everybody else feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with Robin Williams, there was I recently watched a documentary with his wife who clarified, like, it took months after his death to get autopsy and figure out what exactly was going on with him, and they thought that it was like Alzheimer's or something along those lines, but it was actually, like, I can't remember the name of the actual illness, but it was something essentially that was like along the same spectrum of Alzheimer's or schizophrenia, or it's a rare thing that pretty much attacked his brain and it was making him paranoid, it was making him depressed, bipolar, like schizophrenic.
Did it ever cross your mind that he could be suicidal?
No. It was what was going on inside of his brain, the chemical warfare that no one knew about.
His autopsy later revealing he was suffering from a debilitating brain disorder, Lewy body dementia.
Lewy body dementia is a complex disorder with many different presentations. You can see very dramatic effects in thinking, emotions, and behavior.
Most people think your husband killed himself because he was depressed.
No, Lewy body dementia killed Robin. It's what took his life.
Yeah, it was tragic what happened to him, and he was dealing with it for a long time before anybody even knew. I don't even think he knew what was happening to him at the time of his death. But before I agree with you on the scene stealer, I do want to say an honorable mention to Jon Stewart's hair. Not anything about anything happening below his hair, but just those fucking bangs. I don't know who made that decision, but good job, sir. Also, honorable mention to Edward Norton, because to go from roles like American History X and Fight Club to this squeaky clean, innocent, childlike character like Sheldon Mopes, it's crazy to see that kind of range in an actor.
You do realize he's going to kill you, right? I think this is the third film we've had with Edward Norton, and he's not been on this board once. He is going to kill you.
He needs to star in movies with lesser actors, because as good as he does,
he'll never do that. He needs to.
Well, if we did Primal Fear,
Richard Gere.
I mean, Richard Gere is great, but yeah. But yes, I agree with you. Robin Williams definitely stole the show. Danny DeVito, the director, agrees with us that in an interview, Danny DeVito said that
Robin Williams is like funnier than he's ever been in any movie he's ever done.
And that's a high bar to set, but I have to agree. I think it showed his ability to. It allowed him to be all of Robin Williams, like the Robin Williams that we see on the stage, the completely erratic, all over the place, like that streamlined, like, this is what I'm thinking, this is what's coming out of my mouth, and you can't keep up with it.
You would never think from seeing that he could play Mrs. Doubtfire in a million years. Like, you had never met Robin Williams. You saw like, no, he'll never be PG. Oh yeah, he can be whatever you want to be. Last but not least, before we leave this segment, tell me you remember him playing Popeye.
That was one of the first things that I saw him in way back in the day as a kid on one of my grandfather's VHS.
I didn't see that until after seeing Mrs. Doubtfire. It was so real to see him, like, and he's killing it. It's Popeye,
his ability to go from on top of the world to so pathetic to maniacally enraged, while staying funny throughout all of those emotions is. Hilarious to watch.
Let's not forget one of his best performances before we leave real quick. If I'm not Finding Forrester, give it to me, Matt Damon.
Good Will Hunting.
Yeah. Man, forget Harvard sweatshirt. Love it. Go for it.
Yeah, so congratulations to Robin Williams. Your legacy will never ever die. No. Get on the board.
Yes, and thank goodness you did not come with the same season as Plane, Trains, Automobiles.
Yeah.
We had a big decision to make there.
All right, it is time for Cast, Crew, or You. All right, we are here with James McDonald. He is a filmmaker, a film reviewer, a film connoisseur in the general sense. You can find him on YouTube, JamesMCD Productions and JamesMCD Reviews. And we'll put the links to those in the description of these videos as well. We met James.
I'm sorry, he's so rude. Welcome to the TTFT show. He has no manners. There's no popcorn. Jesus, man, what are you doing, man? James, welcome to the show. First off, why don't you tell them how we all kind of first met a while ago?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jeez.
So, like Durden said, I'm James McDonald. I run 2 YouTube channels. I'm a Columbia College sophomore. In my spare time, I have my production channel where I post all my short films and school projects, and then my review channel where I talk about movies and shows, video games here and there. And I first got in contact with Durden when I had done a review of his movie, I'm Going to Kill Someone This Friday. Really loved it. Really had a good time at the premiere. Had fun doing the review. Didn't think it was going to get like much of a response, and then come to find out it quickly became like a really well-viewed video. And then Durden and I have kind of been like in contact since. Him and my mom are friends on Facebook. You and Jared and my mom are friends on Facebook. And I went to you did my senior pictures at the encore showing of Kill that you did at like Sunray, I think it was. We talked a little bit there. It was a lot of fun, and the support you guys showed for that video was insane. So I appreciate that.
No, we appreciated the fact that somebody took the time to not just watch our movie, but like really express the fact that they paid attention to it. That's like the best gift that a filmmaker can receive, is somebody like proving to them that, or analyzing something almost as much as they did writing it. Thought that was, I really appreciated that.
Okay, speaking of satisfying to watch, is that what you said when you watched Death to Smoochie?
Oh, hold on. Let's preface it a little bit. So
I want to know. I want to take him right into it.
When I reached out to James about doing Death to Smoochie and coming on for this episode, he had not seen it yet. So we are talking to a brand new viewer,
a novice.
Yes,
uncherry breakable. Okay.
With that said, please.
But when you messaged me, I had never heard of Death to Smoochie. Like, I thought it was like a joke or a parody or something. And then when I looked up the like synopsis and read about it, I'm like, oh, this sounds hilarious. I have like, even if I don't end up on this show, I have to like seek this movie out and watch it. So me and my girlfriend hopped in a Zoom call and watched it over the weekend, and we both thought it was hysterical. We absolutely loved it.
Are you a fan of, I mean, I know it's probably a redundant question, but I guess I should say, how big a fan of Robin Williams are you?
I love Robin Williams. I think he's hilarious. I wish he was still around because I feel like, you know, he's one of the like comedic like souls that we need right now with how the world is going to. But no, I love Robin Williams. I love, you know, his frenetic energy. I love his humor, some of his old stand-ups and stuff, and even some of the more like serious stuff. I really like as well.
So where would you put Death to Smoochy in? Like, would it be like the top 5, top 10, top 3 Robin Williams films that you've seen?
Maybe not even in the top 10. You got that has to be an option too. Robin Williams has a lot of movies. We got 3 Night at the Museums, don't we, guys?
They're better than the Night at the Museums. I'll give it that. But oh god, it's hard to judge because I like, as much as I love Robin Williams, I know there are a bunch of his movies that I haven't seen yet. Sorry, don't kill me, internet. But it is. I will say it is one of my new favorites. Like, okay. I love the hell out of this movie.
Pop quiz, hot shot. Truth or dare, should I say? Did you know that he played Popeye?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. Well, I had to know. So I had to get the internet off you because they were on you. I'm like, God, because half the people that are on you don't know he played Popeye. So you guys back off and get the off of James. Get off it.
He's projecting. He did this to me in the episode too. I think you just were surprised that you didn't know that Robert Williams was Popeye.
No, I was. As a child, I was surprised. People don't know, man. They fear what they don't know.
Do you have a favorite part in the movie that stands out?
It's very obvious, but the Nazi rally just had me rolling. Like, it was so hi Smoochy. It was so perfectly set up, like from the initial car ride where he's like interacting with Robin Williams and Ed Norton are talking, and you just see him running on stage with the like intense spotlight, and then it cuts off and just a bunch of like white supremacists and Nazis just standing up and cheering. And he's like, I just lost it. I thought it was hilarious.
The movie was way ahead of its time.
Oh, yes, it was.
I was almost hesitant at first when I was talking about it with my girlfriend. I was almost hesitant to say like ahead of its time because like I'm sure there were movies before it that like did what it was trying to do. Like I said before it, but in some cases it was like in some of the topics that it talks about, like saying children's TV and just the entertainment industry in general is corrupt is nothing new, but like the way that it shows it,
it's all gone, it's not free,
and some of the like talks about some cancel culture, because like the backlash that Smoochy faces after the Nazi rally is like really harmful. Even though Robin Williams' character is like seen as like the bad guy for a good chunk of the movie, like they do let you see like kind of where he's coming from, and they show him as like being genuinely kind of depressed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was really funny for me when I first saw the movie. It wasn't as funny after the fact of what, has transpired in reality. Mm-hmm. But what is Robin Williams, would you say that's the standout performer in it for you, or is there somebody else?
I thought all the actors were really good. I thought Edward Norton, it seemed like a really different performance than what I'm used to. So I thought he was really good. It was just kind of charming. I was a little worried about the woman playing the love interest. I've already forgotten her name, but I thought that she was I thought that she was just going to be like a wet blanket throughout the whole thing, but like as she started to warm up, I started to warm up to her, and like the performance was actually pretty good. So
I don't want to hear it. I just had that telepathic conversation with you.
This segment is going to be before.
I don't care because it don't matter because when it happens, everything that's happening now is happening now. What movie?
Spaceballs.
You might be legit. You got it going, man. Keep it going.
So if there was anything that you would change about Death to Smoochy, is there anything that you would change?
Nothing really that stands out. I think my one like issue was I think the pacing at the beginning was kind of like fast, like from the initial like intro of the movie to I think the first like filming of Smoochy's show happens within like what feels like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it like I get it's all set up and it doesn't really need to be dragged out, but I don't know. It felt like kind of like almost overwhelming to have like Rainbow Randolph like singing at you to him getting arrested to everything else. So, but nothing else really stands out.
So you do movie reviews, of course. What would I can't remember what the if you do you get what is like how does your scale work when you do a film review?
So I rate from a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being like, well, more like 0 to 5. 0 being like absolute bottom of the barrel, like terrible, worst movie of the year, and 5 being practically perfect and like one of the best or one of my favorite movies of that particular year.
I know that you probably put a little bit more calculation behind these decisions before you throw something out there, but if off the cuff, if you were to give Death to Smoochy 0 through 5, where would you rank that?
Probably a 4.5. Like it's not a perfect movie by any means, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. I had a blast watching it, and yeah, I'm definitely going to need to go back and watch it again after this.
Is there before we get off of Death to Smoochy, is there anything else that you want to share about the movie or your thoughts on it?
Actually, if I don't know if you guys have done your connection section yet, but if not, you should put this in here. So this was just a thing that I found interesting after thinking, like sitting on the movie for a while. So a good chunk of the plot centers around Sheldon or Smoochy not wanting to keep his ethics and not wanting his character to be like overly monetized and pandering and used to sell like plastic shit and breakfast cereals, and the TV network is like trying to force him into stuff. So it's almost kind of perfect that Robin Williams is in the movie because he went through a similar thing in real life with Disney while doing Aladdin, because he was like really particular about when he was doing the genie. He was like, look, I only want to be used for a certain % of the marketing. I don't want my face on like Burger King toys and anything like that. And because Disney can't help themselves, they did it anyway. And I think they have mended terms since, because I think he was in like the third Aladdin as well, but yeah, he had like, there was a good like several years where he was just publicly on Disney for how they treated him.
Yeah, he didn't come back for part 2 and then the grand return for part 3.
Yeah, not that I did not know.
That was
awesome. That was awesome.
He was all ears when you said connection.
I thought
who's coaching on my segment?
No, I thought he was going to say one of mine. I was just trying to stroke my own for a second. I thought he was going to say one of mine, but that was awesome. That was awesome, man. Great connection.
Before we let you go, I wanted to. So you are you went to school both in high school and in college now for film, right?
Yes.
So what is the what would you say is the best piece of advice that you would give to aspiring filmmakers?
Oh God, I don't know. I'm just a dumb kid making YouTube videos. I don't.
No. You've been doing this. So somebody that has never done it before, but they want to, spare them a speed bump.
I would say, and it's going to sound really cliche, and this isn't just for, filmmaking, but also since this is YouTube, I would say don't go into it like with the expectation of like becoming like, famous or anything like that. You got to do it because you're passionate about it, because if you're just doing it because, then what's even the point? Like, and people can see when you're not like passionate or like enthusiastic about something that you're doing. So
yeah, that's good advice.
That's awesome advice.
Is there any parting words that you'd like to leave us with before we go?
Just thank you guys for having me on. It's been a lot of fun. I check out Death to Smoochy because it's hilarious. And also support your local theaters. I know we're still living in crazy times right now, but things have been getting back to normal slowly but surely. So go back to the theaters if you can. If you're if you can go to a movie theater, support them, because I want to keep that like experience alive for just at least a little bit longer.
Well, we were back like opening weekend, if not like we were there. It was a Tenet time, the Time movie. Go figure. Yeah. Go figure.
Yeah. That is perfect words from a true movie fan. Don't let the theaters die. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on, and again, I'll put the links to your channels in the description for this video. You people out there, be sure to check James out. His review channel, JamesMCD Reviews, his actual productions that he does is at JamesMCD Productions. Again, thank you very much, James. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much.
Hey, we'll see you on the virtual side, brother.
Awesome.
Take care, man.
All right, you too.
All right, guys, you know what time it is. It's time for Room for Tim Allen. What does that mean? A little home improvement. Benford Tools sponsors this segment. And with that being said, guys, Room for Improvement, it only comes down to one thing for me. Room for Improvement would have been the box office. I'm just going to tell you exactly, because when we're talking about the film, it has to do with the marketing, the actual film itself, the cast, crew, all that other things. It's a crime that so many people haven't seen this film. But in fairness, one thing I would change would be the title. The reason why I'm saying that is because I feel like the title is in direct contrast. Is the reason why people didn't go see it. Because if you didn't tell me who was in this movie, and all I heard was, "Hey man, we're going to see Death to Smooch," and I'm like, "Man, that," and they're like, "No, Robin Williams and Edward Norton," and man, that. Mm-hmm. But if I don't know what the movie's called, you say, "Hey, watch this," I'm like, "Oh, you know what I'm saying?" So to me, I would change that. I get it, but I'm just.
What would you call it?
Okay, I can't call it what I would want to call it because I know that would never be something that would be acceptable. Dinosaurs Must Die. Because I would have made the animal a dinosaur. I would have played right off of Barney. I would have made it another Dinosaurs Must Die. Because now it's like, I'll check that out. Because they did die. Right? Without a dinosaur. Hey, Hollywood, we're here.
Extinction.
Yeah. Where's Sigourney Weaver, man? Stop.
My room for improvement, what I would change, this is something that I felt the first time that I saw it. It was something over a decade ago. It was something that I felt even more when I watched it last night. I would change whatever direction Catherine Keener was getting. I typically like her work, but her emotional responses and character development seem like they have competing goals for how the film wants you to feel about her throughout the movie. I'm thinking of like the insert shots when she's at the Coney Island Methadone Clinic watching Sheldon perform, and also when he does the song and like one of the first episodes of Smoochy after she yells at him and he goes up and performs. They're always going out of their way to cut to these insert shots of her where she's like batting her eyes slowly, like and then opening them in this like bewildered fashion, like she's so smitten by what Sheldon is doing, but which would be fine. But then it goes right back to her like being just downright cold-hearted and cynical towards him right after that.
Can I debate you on that just for really quick?
Please.
It's because of the fact that I think it's a line that's uttered later in the movie, which we don't find out until Robin Williams' character tells us that she's always been smitten with those type of characters. So the insert shots, to me, I took it as she's falling in love, but it's indirect. It's like adverse because she's made that mistake before. She says it several times in the movie. I fell for this boy. I won't do this again. Even when they're about to f***, she's like, "Tell me you're not like everybody else." So she's mean to him and all these other people because she doesn't want to make that mistake, and she made that mistake recently with Rainbow Randolph. So I'm not saying you're wrong, Like, I get what you're saying film wise, but I think they supplemented it a little bit. But that's what you would change. So.
No, I agree with that. I think what you're saying is true, and that's probably why they directed her to do these things. But maybe it's just, I don't know, there's something off about her performance. Yeah, like,
and I love her.
Yeah, I do too. I like her in everything.
No, I said I love her.
She's also in Kidding, the Showtime show with Jim Carrey, that is a lot like this movie as far as showing.
It's on now?
Yeah, Kidding on Showtime. I think they're going into the 2nd or 3rd season, but it delves into like the darker side of behind the scenes of children's television. But yeah, there's something off about her in the movie to me. I don't feel like she fit into the energy that everybody else in the movie was embracing. This like weird crime noir satire. It doesn't like not really taking itself too seriously. I think she was playing like straight comedy. Everybody else was, I don't know, something was off about her. And that's the one thing that rubs me the wrong way in the movie. Is
she just reminded me of the character that she played in 40-Year-Old Virgin. I kind of felt kind of the same way a little bit. That was it for me. Just for me.
Yeah, she's always one of those kind of cold, sarcastic characters.
And you watch her mouth.
I mean, hey, I like it. It usually works. For whatever reason, it felt off in this. It felt like it was working against the energy of the movie as a whole.
Well, guys, there you have it. That's what we would have changed. We're the professionals. What would you have changed? Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Ding! And make sure you leave the comments there. And guys, going on to the next segment. Dave, what is it?
Fxxks Given. This is our review of Death to Smoochy. Summarized in how many middle fingers we would give it, or how much we would f*** with it. So, Mr. Royal, what would you have given Death to Smoochy?
We have a job and a responsibility to, no matter how we feel emotionally, we still have to have a job to do. So I would have given 3 out of 5. The reason why I give it 3 is because the fact that I know it could have been more. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it comes from a time to where after knowing who Danny DeVito is, I know Danny DeVito, the actor. I don't know the person, and I've only seen the director 1 or 2 times. I can't tell you. I think he's done a few other things, but with that being said, it has nothing to do just with Danny DeVito. It's the sum of all parts. You have legends in this film. You have so many elements of it, and it's telling us they took a chance. Remember how we said this before, sometimes you can only be so good in a film, and when a film is called Death to Smoochy, it's about I just feel like somebody sat down one day was like, man, I'm tired of watching Barney. I'm tired of seeing this and I want him to die. And somebody was like, yeah, man, but you just can't have a movie about that. Okay, well, what about if Barney replaced the guy before like that? So to me, I feel like they tried to, this is the best that I think it could have been, because again, you have Edward Norton, Danny DeVito, you have Catherine Kerner. You have so many you have so many people playing these roles in it. And it's just like, man, it had the watching it last night, I felt good. I felt bad because we will never see Robin Williams again. But at the same time, I was just like, man, I just wish they would have vetted this out a little bit more. But even if they did, this is the best I think it could have been. That's just my opinion. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm almost right there with you. I give it a 3.5. I will start with the good. I will end with the bad. The good, the art direction, the cinematography, they were all great. The lighting was spot on. The style of the movie, again, that crime noir look was very interesting. It was an interesting look for a movie that a dark comedy takes shape on top of. I thought the balance of that was cool. I don't remember ever seeing that before. There was one particular shot in the where they're what's her name, the Spinner's aunt, his mom. Yeah. Where she's talking to Sheldon in the like stands of where they're gonna do where they're like doing the ice show, and when that transition is so seamless when she says, "Oh, we'll take care of him" or whatever, and she crosses, and she like seemingly crosses right from the rafters of the ice rink into Parade of Hope's office, and it's like. It's seamless. And then there's that really cool shot at the end where it's spinning around Edward Norton and Catherine Keener. There was just, you don't usually see that much cinematography. Yeah, or that much finesse put into the technical side of a comedy. Like, it kind of goes back to Tropic Thunder. It was a comedy, but they shot it in a serious way.
100%.
It was a pleasant surprise to see Robin Williams get to explore such a dark, demented character, and on the flip side of that, see Edward Norton get to explore such an innocent, childlike character. These were roles that at the time we've never seen them in before, so that was a treat to watch. With that, so I haven't seen the movie in over 10 years. When I was watching it last night, I kept thinking, like, I remember this movie being so much funnier. Like, I remember dying laughing, and I don't know if it was just because I was younger, and it was the first time I'd seen Robin Williams be so vulgar, and that just tickled me, or maybe my tastes have changed in what I find funny. I don't know what it is, but it wasn't as funny to me this time. And it might be, the only thing that I could think that is that watching Robin Williams play a character like that, knowing the state that his mind was in like the final chapter of his life, it's as great as he is in it, and I could, like, his performance is amazing, but it's almost too good watching him, because you know now in hindsight that those emotions were coming from, he was digging them up from a real place somewhere inside, and it just kind of makes the best part about this movie, Robin Williams, come with an air of bittersweetness with everything that he does in it because of what happened to him in reality. So I think that maybe is kind of like a wet blanket on top of, unfortunately, on top of the movie. I mean, at one point, that scene where he's pouring the gasoline on himself and he's about to light himself on fire.
Don't do it, Rainbow!
Yeah, it's like, oh man, that part used to be...
I saw an angel. It should stop me from killing myself. You see what I'm saying? Right. Hey, it's foreshadowing in the wrong way, man.
So I think it sucks, though, that the movie didn't get more recognition.
You say that after saying that, I just...
No, because I'm talking about while Robin Williams was still alive, while it could have been appreciated for everything that it was. Mm-hmm. I think that... Alright, so the movie has two major stars. It's directed by a major star. I mean, Robin Williams and Edward Norton. This is like Edward Norton around the time of Primal Fear, Fight Club, American History X. This is when he was like top. So you got him in it and Robin Williams. Why the wasn't this movie promoted more heavily? Like most people, like James, who's on this episode, didn't even know this movie existed. There are people out there that are diehard Robin Williams fans.
They don't know it exists.
Yeah, so why? And the only reason that I could think of is because the movie pretty much makes a point out of the entire thing to demonize everything that the entertainment industry,
corporate America, the wars, kids, we should be like you just said. Oh, we need to be serving them fruit, not this, that, and the. You're right.
Nora says it straight up in the movie. She says, "This is network television, buddy. You're out there to sell sugar and plastic," and that's like
they buried it.
So yeah, the movie, and then I mean, they take even charities like the Parade of Hope is downright evil. Do
you remember seeing one trailer for this film? Because I don't.
No. The only reason why I saw this because it came out around the time that I worked at Hollywood Video, and I would literally just bring any new release home and watch it, and that's how I discovered this movie. But yeah, I think you can't be that spot on about issues that. And Danny DeVito said it in an interview. He was like, that message wasn't really why I made the movie. I mean, he's like, we all know that. We all know that that's why we make movies or TV is to sell products or to market something. I mean, everybody knows that. So I don't think we're like breaking. But I think to do it that effectively in a satire, it made me look at things a little bit differently. And I can only imagine that they just, let's just keep that at a low roar so it doesn't get out of control.
They did the same thing to Nate Parker in Birth of a Nation, so at least they're equal opportunists.
Rotten Tomatoes gave the movie 42%. That's the average with critics, and 66% was the average audience score. Jay Hoberman with The Village Voice said Death to Smoochy is often very funny, but what's even more remarkable is the integrity of DeVito's misanthropic vision. And Richard Roper was not a fan. He said he's obviously not a fan of Death to Smoochy.
Or France.
Pardon my French. I'm sure some country, maybe France or something, will hail this as a work of genius because it is so incredibly awful. So, critics and audiences are kind of divided down the middle, which is, I think, a testament to any great movie is going to have people that love it and hate it.
Well, David, speaking of some country may love it, tell us, I'm pretty sure that country is not for young men, or tell us what we're doing next week.
All right, coming attractions. Next week, we are going to be covering the Coen Brothers classics. One of my favorite Coen Brothers, but actually, it is the best Coen Brothers movie. Not my go-to, but their best all around. We're going to be getting deep into the psychology of No Country for Old Men. That'll be on May 6th, and we have special guests, 2 veteran actors that you've surely seen many times. Barry Corbin and Beth Grant will be joining us for that episode, so
I'm excited about this one, David. You know why? Because this makes number 3 out of all. We were 2 seasons in, and I think maybe you're up to 2. I mean, you might be up to 1. You definitely have 1, but this will be the 3rd film that we've reviewed that I've not seen. It was Coffee Town, Living Wake, and now No Country for Old Men.
I'm excited for you to watch No Country for Old Men.
Everyone is. They're like, what? You haven't seen it? Yes, me. I watch things in their own time. But with that being said, guys, I'm super excited to see it. It's technically the second, I guess you can say, counter western we've done, especially after doing Django. All right, guys, and with that being said, we're going to see you next week. But before we go, there's a couple of names you need to remember. Number 1, Anchor. Number 2, Patreon. Number 3, subscribe. I feel like I'm in Spider-Man Homecoming. This trying to activate the Winter Soldier. But most importantly, the greatest editor in this side of the Eastern Hemisphere made us a great website. And if you didn't hear his pitch at the beginning, here it is again. TTFT.live. Find everything. Even your grandma could do it, all right? I failed. Well, watch TTFT.live.
Yeah.
I love you.
You love me.
We're a happy family.
With a great big hug.
And a kiss from me to you.
Won't you say you love me too?
No, and that's the song.
This is the song
that doesn't end. Yeah, they go on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not
Why don't
knowing
you subscribe?
what it was.
It'll last
And
longer.
they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that doesn't end. Yeah, all my baritones, tenors. Oh!